Hello everyone, just wanted to do a really quick update, week 2, what's going on with the tank, how everything's going, some additional stuff that I've added in it. Be a pretty quick video, not much new to report, which is probably a good thing. First thing you'll notice up there, I did get the second Kessel light. It's just another A160WE. It's lighting up the tank very good. It's about 1 o'clock. I have the cycle running from about 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. right now, so about 10 hours. I know they recommend about 12 hours, but I don't have any corals or livestock in there, so just to kind of cut down on overlighting the tank and potential algae growth, I'm only running 10 hours right now. And it's just more for me to get a feel of the lighting schedule I'm currently doing with the color and intensity percents to see if I like it or if I want to adjust it. RW8 still running really good. You can kind of see it has decent water movement up at the top of the tank. Like I said, I originally had 2, ended up just going with 1, but once I start actually putting corals and livestock in there, I'll judge if I need to add anything else to add some more water movement. Other people that I've seen with their tanks, they have 2, 3. It just seems like a lot of water movement. Maybe it's needed. Maybe I don't need it for my tank on what I plan on doing. I'll be starting with fish and some invertebrates, and then eventually moving over to corals. So we'll see. Back down here in the sump real quick. The Deltek still running pretty well. Bubble level's been pretty consistently at that level. It's slowly filling up the cup. Not with anything, it's not skimmade. It's probably actually just salt water right there that it's foaming out. Heater's still running really well. For my last video though, kind of want to give an update on this. So I believe in the first video I told you guys that I ordered a couple just generic 4-inch felt filter socks from Bulk Reef Supply. It was a little bit of a learning opportunity because actually the filter socks do not fit. Pretty much any generic filter sock out there, even if it's stated at 4-inch, will not fit the Red Sea system. And I've had this confirmed by both Red Sea and Bulk Reef Supply. The way that they do the ridge of the filter sock for the Red Sea, it's a little bit different than the rest of them, and honestly I measured them, it is a little bit tinier than 4 inches. It's not a good straight 4-inch filter sock. So for those of you thinking about going and getting some generic socks, if you have a Red Sea Reefer, don't. Go with the Red Sea. Right now, they're actually pretty hard to find. Red Sea themselves is sold out. I was going to order them through Red Sea directly. They didn't have any. Bulk Reef Supply doesn't stock them. Ended up going through Salty Supply, another good aquarium retailer out there online, and they had them all available. So I ordered 2 sets of the 225 felt, and they should be here in a couple days. So essentially, the first cycle of maintenance I did with the tank, I took out the filter socks one by one, cleaned them, ran them through some water. These are the thin mesh ones, so they don't really need to be washed per se, like in a washing machine. When I go to the felt, I'll keep you guys updated. I have a feeling those will have to be a little more extensively washed just because the felt's going to trap a lot more. So they'll probably clog quicker, as well as be a little bit more of a pain in the butt to clean, but I've heard good things about the felt socks. So I'm going to try those out, and then I'll obviously still have these 225 micron thin mesh from Red Sea that came with the aquarium. But yeah guys, so not much new to report. Everything's looking pretty good in the tank. It's kind of blue right now, so it's kind of hard to 100% see the rock. But no algae bloom yet. I actually ordered the Red Sea, not the foundation test kit, but the marine care test kit that tests like your nitrates, phosphates, all that stuff. So probably within the next week or so, I'm actually going to start testing the water. we're just in February right now, and like I said in my first video, I really don't plan on putting livestock in here till about May, just because of some personal events I have coming up. I don't want to have a house sitter have to worry about feeding the fish and all that stuff, so I'm just going to kind of wait. I may change my mind, but as of right now, I plan on mid-May start putting some livestock in here, and I think that'll give the tank plenty of time to cycle. But yeah, nothing too crazy. As you can still see crystal clear water in the tank, so everything's kind of doing its part. Really happy still with it. If you remember from my first video, I also said that I plan on putting a carbon reactor down there in the sump. Well, I do have it. This is the bulk resupply generic reactor. So you can use it for carbon, you can use it for GFO, or better term, phosphate. But as you can see, it's kind of big. Kind of has a good footprint on it. Also, keeping in mind that it needs a pump, which it did come with. It's I think Cobalt Aquatics MJ1200. But just trying to figure out exactly where I'm going to put it in here for ease of use and like when I'm doing maintenance on the tank, because just a good comparison, I mean, there's it right up to the sump. Pretty big. Didn't quite know that when I bought it. Bulk Resupply does have a smaller version. This is probably about, I'd say, 14 inches long, the actual cylinder, not counting the head on it. They have a 5-inch version, which as you can see in here, that's the recommended amount of carbon for my tank. Not much, so I have a whole lot of space in there that I wouldn't even be using. I do plan on, when I eventually put livestock and coral in here, to get like the GFO and run it mixed, so that would obviously take up some more room, but still I'd have a lot of space, because essentially even if I did a 50-50 mix, I'm only adding double the capacity. And even with the sponges, like I maybe don't need that big of a unit in there. And just looking in it, I mean, that's the footprint I have to deal with. So I mean, I could easily put it in there, probably have the pump over in this area, set the reactor down over here. But the problem is, when I want to do maintenance, clean out the socks, I basically have to disassemble everything to get to them, which will be a little bit of a problem. But more to come. Again, the water is crystal clear right now. Haven't had any outbreaks or any crazy issues, so I haven't felt the need to rush and set it up yet, but I have everything. Another thing that I was debating, I have a little bit on it here too, but the tubing that it comes with is a pretty hard 1/2-inch tubing. It's not like your standard tubing that like your return pumps and all that comes with. This is a bit harder. So obviously too, it's going to be a little bit more rigid and not easy to bend. So stuff's going to be, propped up or stuff like that, unless you cut it straight. And also they give you this flow valve, which I don't necessarily need, because this is more for if you're just running straight GFO out of the reactor and you want to set the tumble speed. But with carbon, they said to pretty much just run it at full throttle, and over time as it clogs, it'll lower the flow rate anyways. So I was thinking about just going up to my local pet store and just getting some 1/2-inch normal tubing that'd be a little bit more flexible, and maybe that'll help me out too. And if I take this off, I'll have more room to play, because essentially right now, if I were to set this as is in the sump, the pump would literally have to connect right in there. I would have no other tubing. But if I take this off, I would have some more room to play, so it's not too high up in the sump over there. But more to come on that. Like I said, I'm in no real rush to get that installed. The tank's doing well. This is pretty much spot on week 2 of having everything in there and running. So yeah, any comments, questions, or suggestions, please leave them below, and I'd be happy to answer them. Thanks for watching.